Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a while. Been a while since we've done it live. Doing it live, if you've probably seen, I've put out a ton of YouTube videos because all I've been doing is riding my bike and finishing up the work that mostly have before like things usually chill out a little bit around the like now that we're getting right into the holidays. But yeah, busy there for a minute with all the photographing Christmas parties and just even today trying to get all my last paperwork in order, track down people who haven't paid me, stuff like that. So yeah, how you doing, Blackball? I know you asked about the intro music. I believe I have it linked in the description to all the live streams. If not, I've lost where I took that from. Um, yeah, that one made that intro a while ago, and now like drives have been switched, computers have been switched. So it's either in the description or I'll never remember who did it. Someone could Shazam it, I guess. So, what's up, Jay Dandy? Uh, Dylan, how's it going? Large Marge, Patty, hey, how's it going, Patty? Pudgy, Bradley, Raymond, Muskrat. I've just been chatting with Muskrat before we started through text. We had talked about cameras on, I guess, maybe the last time I streamed because it's been a while. We didn't stream at all last week. So yeah, nerding out, and then I realized I was just surprised by how much I've started to forget with my like all my knowledge used to go into my camera stuff, and now I think it's all going into the bike stuff, and like so some of the bike stuff is going or the camera stuff is going out the back door. But he was asking about a camera that I said I could probably sell him, and then I was trying to think of where it was, and I'm looking. All my cameras I have Christmas lights all over them, and they kind of display the whole wall of where I work upstairs in the studio. If you've been around a while, they used to be the background for the stream. So I'm looking over there and I'm like, there's one, but I had two of them. And so I sit back down on the couch, I'm just chilling out for a little bit before I start streaming. And then I have my arm up on the end table that I have there, and the end table has a glass top, and I look down in it and I'm like, that's where the other camera was. So there you go. That's how my mind is. That's how well I'm doing. But yeah. Attendance is low, might have to break out the maps. Hey, what's up, Mono Lake? Number two, how's it going? Oh yeah, I wanted to show this. Bikes to Tacos. That's what he uses on Instagram. I can't remember if that's also his YouTube name, but I sent him some stickers, and then he has a hot sauce business, and I was going to. I have him here, but I have the old camera up, the one that doesn't focus. But they have a cool bike theme logo, so I took a picture of some of the swag and the sauce before the stream, so I could show it to everybody. If I could, there it is. Get a big one up here. Yeah, so you could see a pretty cool Mexican style skeleton riding a bike. So pretty sweet. And so I guess the red is the original, and the green he said is really good for breakfast stuff. And I had mentioned I really like green hot sauce, or the kind that there's a brand that the local farmers sell around here that I love. But you can see how cool the sticker branding is too. So Speedy's Sauce Shop, and then there's a couple other stickers he sent along and a couple pins too. But like I said, I this camera for some reason the electronics show that it autofocuses, but the motor just won't drive. This camera just won't drive the motors on my autofocus anymore for some reason. No idea. But yeah, so same logo on the pins. You get the idea as that. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I haven't tried it out yet. Because basically I just have been eating out too much and I need to go grocery shopping. But I want to try the green sauce on. I really like using like a green hot sauce on I like make black beans and stuff like that. So I think that'd be good. As I've said, I I actually eat vegetarian here at home, even though I'm not a vegetarian. But so hot sauces are always great to spice everything up, if you will. So yeah, yeah. Happy holidays, everyone. Yeah, happy Hanukkah right now. Hanukkah is right. Started yesterday or the day before. And what, Christmas is Sunday and New Year's a week out. So yeah. Pudgy, uh, Pudgy said Tim once said he had stickers for me 2 years ago. It's so funny. I shipped everyone's stuff again, and I have yours sitting there because I always think like, oh, I'm gonna put this in here before I send it, and it's still sitting right by my desk. Hey, what's up, Roger? Glad you could join us. Charles, what's up? Hey, Twan, how you doing? I was reading Balancing the Bike Life is formerly Cheesy Rider. So he said trying to start a YouTube channel and messed it all up. Maybe you should take that as a hint. Nah, no, YouTube is, that's what it's about. You just got to do it. The most important thing if you want to do YouTube is to start doing it. Figure out all the other stuff later. You could change your channel name. You could, the only thing I think, your handle. Yeah, they do let you change your handle. So yeah, figure it all out as you go. That's the way to do it. Get started. If you only have a phone, start making videos with your phone, and then you could improve everything after that. The live streams definitely were not like this when we started them, as Pudgy will let you know. I mean, I definitely have had a leg up because I do photography and videography for a living. But yeah, I always tell anyone who wants to get into it, the first thing you should do is just start posting some videos. You know, when I started doing these streams, I secretly hoped no one would tune in. I just wanted to figure out how to live stream. I was embarrassed to do it. I still get nervous. I think I've told you guys that every time before that countdown's going. When I see it get under a minute, I still get nervous, even though I'm sitting here alone in my basement. It's the way it goes. But it's fun to do. Hey, what's up, Chris? Eggs with green sauce, yeah. And that's what they said. They said it does go as like a breakfast. So yeah, anything breakfasty with green sauce. I really like hot sauce on breakfast food. Man, it was my first girlfriend. We were at a Einstein Bagels, and I remember as we were leaving, I saw her have a bottle of Frank's Red Hot, which I had never had at the time, and I thought she stole it from the restaurant. I didn't realize she had brought it in her purse to use it at the restaurant because she wanted to make sure she had Frank's. And I don't think since I tried that I've ever almost ever been without Frank's in my fridge. It's still my favorite. I like it much better than. I'm not a siracha fan. I think Frank's is way better than sriracha, but yeah. Monolith said I need to go to New Mexico. They always ask red or green when you order food, huh? I actually have had Mexican food in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. Is that where I flew in and out of? I was into cycling then, but went and met a friend who lived in southern Colorado, and we went hiking through the Santa Fe. So it would have been Santa Fe. I guess I would have flown out of. I don't know. We were in the Santa Fe National Forest. As Jay Dandy would say, let's go to the maps. I want to remember now. But I'll be honest, I can't. I remember that I ate in a Mexican restaurant before, we came back in from the woods, and she was going to take me to the airport, but we had time. And I do remember that we had got Mexican food, but that's about the extent of my memory of that. Oh, I guess it would have been Albuquerque, to be honest. So, no, wait. So the Santa Fe National Forest is up here. But I do think I flew in and out of Albuquerque and not Santa Fe. Because I think I would have remembered being in Santa Fe. I think we came south to the airport. It was probably cheaper to fly into Albuquerque, right? And she lived in Durango, I think. So maybe we picked that as I don't remember. I was young. That was, man, early 20s maybe? Now I want to go back and ride bikes. Cheese and hot sauce, Jay Dandy? I guess I've definitely dipped cheese in hot sauce. It'd be crazy for me to say I haven't. Canty Jr., you asked who is my inspiration? You'd have to be more specific than that. I don't know what my inspiration for what. For live streaming, it was Terry Berenson, Terry B. He said I used to say this at the beginning of every stream as kind of a thank you, but when he was live streaming when the pandemic hit in 2020, he was saying how he had made some money then running live streams for companies. And as a videographer and photographer who lost most of their business, I figured this is something I should learn so I could offer it to my clients. And that's why I started live streaming on YouTube. It wasn't that I thought anyone would ever watch or we'd still be nerding out about bikes, 2 years later. So yeah, it was all about just learning how to do it. So I would know how to do it. And actually, I only ended up running 2 live streams maybe for other companies. I mean, I'm still paid off, right? And pays off because this is a lot of fun. But yeah, was never the goal to be a live streamer on YouTube. It was just the goal to know how to live stream and use OBS, which is the software I use to do it. Oh, Pudgy, you said once you get back after the New Year's, you'll come up this way. Yeah, and I posted in the Discord, the meetup section. I had a weekend that I think it was last weekend or 2 weekends ago that I was hoping to come down to Columbus, but then I ended up picking up a number of gigs, and a friend came into town and all that kind of holiday, just the way the holidays are. So I was looking at hopefully in January, get out and do a Columbus meetup, weather dependent. So I know Dylan said he was interested. His buddy Ed that I met out at Higher Ground, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll post about it, and anyone wants to meet up and ride. And Aaron's into it, so maybe if we don't even get a ride a bunch, it would still be fun to come and hang out with everybody and at least go get something to eat or whatever. But hopefully both. So Charles, it was love at first sauce. Christmas style red and green sauce, Bradley. Nice. Yeah, hot sauce. Gotta have hot sauce. Blackball said Frank's over Sriracha any day. Yeah. Santa Fe is a really cool town. Would love to bike that area. Yeah, I had when I had Albert and Mike on about was that their last adventure that they were staying in Santa Fe or close to Santa Fe and bouncing up, but they weren't going into the Santa Fe National Forest. They were going into what's this one over here? Uh, they were riding these mountains. What is the name of this area? Do they show it if you zoom out? Zoom in. Or whatever this. Oh, it's all the Santa Fe National Forest? Okay, so it's just kind of surrounds Santa Fe, I guess. But I think they were over here more. Have to go back and watch that one. Now I can't remember. Oh, is sriracha full of sugar? That'll make sense why I don't like it. Because stuff that's too sugary in the hot sauce. Um, Sticker Mule, who I ordered the clear grab stickers from, and the sticker logo that Pixel Wolf drew with my face, the icon for the channel. I get those through that company, and they send you a free bottle of hot sauce, mule sauce, when you order from them. But I opened one and used it like 3 times. It's got too much sugar in it. I don't like that flavor when the hot sauce has too much sugar. So yeah, I think I told Large I'd give him the unopened bottle to take to the bike shop, and hopefully they'll use it over there. So Charles took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. I'm not going to try and do the Bugs Bunny voice, but I know exactly why you're writing it like that. Roger, do I ever ride recumbents? No, I've never even tried one. Just just for the fact that I don't right now I don't need to, and I ride enough. I mix up enough off road that a recumbent wouldn't work for me now. I also have back problems, so who knows? Maybe I'll end up on a recumbent at some point. But no, I've never even tried one. Yeah, not no opinion because I haven't. But put that shit on everything. Yeah. Yeah, Patty, all the Mexican restaurants have both those hot sauces. Cholula and Tapatio. Yeah, every Mexican restaurant I go to usually has both of those on the table, along with what's the classic really hot sauce? Why can't I think of it? It usually comes in a smaller bottle. It's red. You only use a little bit of it though. It's like a much hotter sauce. Huh. I also have a friend here in Akron who makes hot sauce too, not your daddy's, but it's fire. So she finally made a more mild version called Not Your Mama's, but the Not Your Daddy's is too much. It's like putting just a couple drops on something, Muskrat had Aldi's Frank's knockoff sauce and their 59-cent avocados with blue chips. Nice. And German beer. Great. Pudgy, you said you're a hot sauce snob and have tried most. Oh, nice. Well, if you get up this way, you'll have to sample the ones I got. Yeah, Frank's is. I mean, I use Frank's on a lot of stuff, but Frank's is more of a. I mean, it's like what the original wing sauce. It's a little less of a Mexican style hot sauce, but I really like it. I love it. But oh, Mono Lake, you said you rode these mountains last year. Yeah, Mike and AJ when they went it, they just did day trips. That's why I think they stayed in Santa Fe. I'm 90% sure, but and then just did day trips up into the mountain instead of doing a full on bike packing trip. But they were talking about how climby it was. I love that we're having a good hot sauce conversation. Too bad Bike to Tacos isn't in here. Yeah, I eat peanut butter. The peanut butter I eat is just yeah, it's just peanuts, nothing with anything added. And the one I've been eating lately is Justin's peanut butter. If you guys are, I think it's Justin's, and I think that one does have a little salt. The local grocery store chain here actually would grind their own, and it was really good and it had nothing added. But now they never have it. They only have it with roasted peanuts or like other additives, and I liked it when it was just like the straight peanuts. But yeah, Justin's I think is the one I've been buying lately, and it actually spreads. I mean, not quite Jif like, but close for being just peanut butters. It's pretty for being just peanuts. It's pretty amazing. Tabasco. Tabasco is the normal sauce I was thinking of. So the two patty named and Tabasco are always on the table of any like Mexican restaurant I think I've ever been to in Ohio. So oh, Pudgy, yeah, I need to. I should do that. Actually, the woman who runs that company, not your daddy's, uh, lives on my route as I ride home. So the intro to this, I usually don't ride down Main Street anymore. I actually the last when I made that intro, I rode down Main Street because I knew I was making that intro. But I ride a parallel street to avoid all the traffic lights and the traffic in general. She actually lives over there, and sometimes when I'm riding home from Akron, she'll be outside, and we'll always wave to each other. But yeah, oh, I need to grab that. I was just talking to someone about the Northside Marketplace, which is right by the bike shop, and I believe they have some of it there. So, but it'll be easy. It'll be easy for me to find. Oh, Pudgy, you have a bunch of 11 to 42 cassettes. I'm wondering if I could use one on the Gunner. Uh, so possibly, yeah, because I don't have a cassette for that bike yet. I ordered the wheels for that bike though, so I think I'll wait till I have them to show what they are. But yeah, they should be in any day, I think. So ordered the wheels and picked out the bars for the Gunner. Um, Pudgy Justin makes a bunch of kinds of peanut butters, but Justin's has just a straight peanut that's not roasted or anything. Large, if you remember, um, remind me when I'm at the shop. Man, maybe if I swing by early tomorrow to grab some of those bottles for Pudgy while I'm over there. Melinda's ghost pepper sauce. I'm sure that's something that I would never touch. Large will eat stuff with a lot more hot sauce than I will. So spicy peanut butter sauce. Well, wouldn't some Thai peanut butter sauces be spicy peanut butter sauces? Like Bangkok Padang. It's a slightly spicy peanut butter sauce, but just spicy peanut butter. I mean, it works. Like you can eat spice with peanut butter. Two XD and one Shimano. Let you know. All right. Yeah, I don't. I guess, huh? When I work with Dirty River, they know everything more than me. So I haven't even. I guess I don't even know what the hub, what the free. What do you call it? Freewheel hub cassette thing. Drive would be on those wheels. So next time you go to the movie theater, get a side of jalapenos with your popcorn. Does the mic stand have its own Strava? Dylan's guessing that I got velocity cliffhangers. That's a good guess. Oh, how about this? Anyone in the chat right now is eligible. Um, I do have another set of. Do I have one to show right here? I realized I have another set of the modal infinity straps. Here's a couple of the short ones. So they'd be in this. I have light blue or purple. So, and then I have two long ones that would go with it. Whoever guesses the correct wheel set I bought for the gunner, I guess whoever puts it first in the chat will get these. And obviously, large, unfortunately, you can't play because I think you were standing there when I ordered them. But I do have a Bridgestone frame for you, so. Cheesy said, maybe balancing. Maybe you should make the channel about beer and hot sauce. Looks like you get 1,000 subscribers overnight. Pudgy, so Dylan said velocity cliffhangers. Pudgy said blunt SSs. I have your set, Pudgy. That's why there's two here. So, I mean, that's why I said there's the purple and blue. Yeah. Training wheel set. What's up, diversity? Mono Lake said crust pre-built wheels with a dynamo. I love those things. I think those things are sweet. Vintage Aria. I have plenty of those around here already. If those were what I was going to put on the gunner, the gunner would be sitting here with wheels on it. So, it's Charles. It's a Rock Tour. I think this one is the Rock Tour Adventure 2. It just says Rock Tour on the frame, but I think I remember Otis telling me it's actually the Rock Tour Adventure 2. It's actually Otis's bike. I wrote it in a video last year, the last winter, and then I wrote it in a video this summer when he built it up, or maybe early summer, late spring when he built it up a different way. But then he took it all apart, decided to ride something else, and then he decided to kind of give me the frame. I mean, it's more of a trade for work I do for him, but it was not expected. So, yeah. So pretty cool. I don't think I have a picture of it, but I could show it to you because it's sitting right here. I usually have it on the stand, and everyone makes fun of me for any excuse to show it, but I will show it. The camera won't focus, but you could get an idea. Yeah, so all silver. So this might. I think I'd like to find I know it's going to be a little quiet. Find a silver stem and silver spacers for it. You know. Yeah, I've got a ton of stuff for you, Pudgy. I really do. Jay Dandy said generic wheel builder wheels with Renair stickers on them. Zip wheels. Yeah. I think most Zip carbon wheels are out of my budget. Pudgy said Industry 9 hubs with Envy wheels. Pudgy asked if I need anything else for it. I need to go through what I have because every time I'm in the bike shop, Otis hands me something and he's like, "Here, take this. This is going to be for the gunner." So I actually have a box of all the stuff for the gunner. So I need to see exactly what I have. But he did find a way to set it up 2x, which I guess is unusual for, I don't know, maybe the crank arms I have or the fact that this bike is, I guess this will probably give something away about the wheel set too. I don't know. Uh, as you guys know, I don't know real modern bikes. This is the only bike that I even have with through axles, but it's boost spacing, the bike. So Velocity Deep V with Chubb Hub. Mono Lake, you said you have Hunt ISO wheels with dynamo for your unfinished Richie Ascent. Someday you'll ride that bike. Oh yeah, yeah, that sound rad. I have so much stuff. Can you come over and build? Can I come over and build you something? Anything? Yeah, I mean, we could probably. There is enough stuff to put together. Definitely a vintage bike around here. I do like. If you saw when the stream, that might be the last stream where we tore apart that the Japanese bike. That bike I want to build up on the streams over the winter. Actually, my buddy Eric is coming into town, and he's wanted me to build him a bike forever, and I think he's as tall as me, and that bike was really tall, that Fuji Del Rey. That might be something to build up for him and let him take back to Boston. That's another thing I want to do, and I was thinking maybe like a Friday stream if you guys have been around like last winter when the weather was bad. Sometimes when I couldn't stream twice in the week, I would just jump on like Friday afternoon before I went to do anything. If I was having like a chill like end of the week, I want to organize all this stuff on the shelves to see exactly what I do have now, like, and put everything out here like by part. It's kind of like that, but then through the streams and doing builds and drinking and messing around, I kind of mix everything up. And I have some stuff in boxes that is more according to the build it came from, whereas now I don't want that to matter anymore. I want like cranks here, brakes here, derailleurs here, levers here, kind of thing, and kind of set this up this way. So then when I am doing something and I'm like, oh, I need a derailleur, like what do I have? Like what's the best Sun Tour derailleur I own if this is something I want to put something better on? Or is this just going to be like a bar bike for someone? So where's the cheapest Sun Tour derailleur I could throw on there type deal? I don't think I could answer that question, Muskrat Silver Wheel set, because um, there's too many wheels that couldn't be in silver, so I'd be limiting the contest too much. Pudgy said, want my absolute black.cc 2x rings. I don't know if they'd work with the cranks I have or not, because I don't know what cranks I have. Are they race face something or other? Maybe they're right over here. Oh, this is a random box from the bike shop. Some stuff that's come off my bikes. Oh, so they're... I think these are the cranks. Race face. Is there another name? Turbine. Yeah, no autofocus, but... And then he did give me a component that makes it so I could run it 2x, like I said, which, from what I understand, Jan is not in here to answer these questions, but he told me that's not supposed to be possible with these, because I remember originally he said, how you're going to run a bike 1x, so. There's a Shimano Dior XT derailleur in here, so I guess that's what's going to go on the back. Oh, my old 105 levers that came off the bike that I replaced with the Ultegra levers Pudgy gave me. So. Front derailleur, Shimano SLX. Yeah. My nice box of... Yeah. And then I got more stuff in another box, but it's not within grabbing distance to see what that adapter thing is and all that. Let me catch up on the chat. Raymond asked Mavic. Muskrat said Dually Pro. Pudgy said, I wish his Mavic still made rims worth lacing, too. Oh, really? Have they gone downhill? I know they had that whole controversy where they kind of got bought and sold. They didn't know who their owner was from what? Was that about 2 years ago? Like the people who worked at Mavic couldn't figure out who owned them anymore. It was wild. I can't remember how that all settled out. I do have some sweet Mavic rims here. I have those machine Casirums on that look, which is something I want to finish this winter too. But again, it's low priority when my back's bad and I can't ride a racy road bike anyways. But Charles, you have a Samsung Illusion Fixed, huh? I saw you guys talking about Japanese cars, vintage Japanese cars, which I definitely don't know much about, except that I drove a 1996 Toyota Tercel for a long time. But I don't think that's what you guys are talking about. Oh, Chris, you said your rock tour will be in this week. Oh, hell yeah. Bradley says he'd put Hunt Adventure Carbon 650Bs on the gunner frame. Yeah. This bike has a ton of clearance, even in 700. I think it'll take over two-inch tires even at 700C. So. Oh, Dylan said, speaking of cars, you found out the stops on the Raleigh car racing circuit for the USA is Southern Ohio. You were looking at the routes because of the gravel roads, and you've ridden most of them. Nice. I was just talking to someone. Oh, Brent, who owns All Around Cyclery. Me and Aaron ran into him when we were riding the video I made called Coffee Then Beer. We ran into him out on the trails, and he was talking about the big mountain bike place down in Southern Ohio and all the gravel roads down there that you were talking about. God, why can't I ever remember names of things? It'd be a lot easier. Chris built up 36 spoke 105 hubs with Velocity cliffhanger rims. Nice. Vintage Japanese bikes are called Mama's bikes or Mama Cherry in Japan. Huh. Oh, Dylan, you're talking about the cranks. What if I wire brush those? They would look great in raw silver, and they're already scuffed. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that is one thing I prefer. You know, I definitely as someone who likes silver components better than black. So. Diversity, you said your car is almost vintage, worth $250. We'll keep it 10 more years for the capital gain. Yeah. Aladdin restaurant ride. Oh, that's right, Bradley. You were having trouble getting a hold of Gunner. Yeah. Pudgy, you're selling your car. I'm running my car until it doesn't run anymore. I have a Toyota Matrix that I've had the clutch and everything replaced. I think 200,000 miles. That's the car. It's basically my pickup truck. The back seat I don't think has ever been up. You know. So. Balancing said, give the Toyota Matrix 30 years and it'll be a classic. Yeah. Mine's a 2005 Matrix. So. Bailey's. That's what I was doing. Yeah. Talking about Bailey's and all the gravel roads down there. So. Nuke proof. I've got that nuke proof hug, but I rode it just last week. I've got it on that blue Peugeot that I made the flat bar conversion out of. So. That nuke proof is laced to a Mavic wheel, an SUP. That Yonda looked at it, he's like, that's a horrible way to lace to that because it's a radial laced with bladed spokes. But hey, what's up, Sleepy Howler? Back now that the World Cup is over. I barely saw any of the World Cup. I saw, I think the game the U.S. tied, if that was on Black Friday, whatever game that was. But I don't get it on anything. So Dimension wheels, Raymond asked or said. I can tell you guys this: nobody has guessed the correct wheels. So there've been some close ones though. My yeah, my let's see. Total Run Forever. Yeah, I got my Matrix for free because it was in a friend's aunt's house who passed away, and he had to deal with the whole estate and selling the house, and I helped him clean it out, and he didn't want to deal with it, so he gave it to me. But yeah, it's a stick too, which I love. I just love driving stick because I had one a number of years ago, a Volkswagen, and I just love the fact that I never grew up driving sticks. We always had automatics, but the fact that you just have to kind of pay a little bit of attention to what you're doing when you drive your car. I just love that about sticks, and I feel like I'm a better driver when I drive one for that reason. You're actually engaged in the driving process, and as someone who's prone to zone out, as you guys may have noticed over the last couple of years, that's useful for me. So hey, what's up, William LeBron? Well, I guess I could say it because Pudgy got it. They are blunt 35s because I love my ailerons, but Yonda and Otis were saying I needed something a little more stout, and they're a little wider. So, and I didn't get the polished ones. I didn't get like the super silvery ones. I just got the more brushed looking ones. So, yep, Velocity doinks, yeah. I got to doink out this bike with some matching Velocity wheels. But you're right, Muskrat. The idea was U.S. wheels on a U.S. frame. So, yeah. I think Otis even let Velocity know we were doing it that way. So, might have even got a bit of a deal. So, they're the full Velocity wheel build. So they're Velocity hubs. I don't know what, I have Velocity hubs on my ailerons too on the Rally, and I don't know if Velocity rebrands those from somebody else or if they make them. Tires, I think I'm probably just going to go with the wider Renaers. What would those be? The 55s, but not 100%. They would be the regular. They'd be the regular casing, Nice, Pudgy. Doink that steed and Paul and White Industries, All American. I think maybe that would be like an eventual, like upgrades down the road. I think for right now, get it built with like some of the stuff I have, and then, but I could definitely see doinking it out with some White Industries cranks. But well, White they do make something you can run 2x on, don't they? Wasn't Russ just showing that on that pedaled video, pathless pedaled on pathless pedaled on one of his alternative crank videos, I think. But you said Velocity hubs are sourced overseas, but they're solid. Yeah, and I know they're solid because I have getting near 17,000 miles on the Raleigh, and even though you could see when I have ruined one of the Velocity ailerons, but we rebuilt the wheels with the same hubs and have no problems. I've had no problems with the hubs. So, yeah. And even the wheels, it's because the way the stupid stuff we ride, 42 millimeter tires on train gravel and Connecticut rocks that just beat them up really bad. Bradley, you have cliffhangers on your 90s Miata. Nice. I don't think I'm going to put Goodyear tires on it. Goodyear they're not even Goodyear tires. They just sold that trademark to someone to put on there. Oh, Pudgy, you get some more straps. But since you already had some of those, I could come up with something different. The bike's a Gunner Rock Tour. Like this camera doesn't. Oh, I do have my GoPro here. I wonder if that'll turn on. Let's see. I, since people do pop in and out of the stream, let's see if it'll kick on. I do have a USB-C here. Doink out this stream. Oh yeah, I think it's working. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh yeah. Yeah, so there it is. I didn't turn on the light over there. Doesn't matter. Well, I didn't plan on doing anything with the bikes. I turn on that second light when I know I'm going to mess around with bikes. Hey, what's up, BH? You said you have an older Schwinn aluminum comp 26-inch. Could you put a set of drop bars on it to make it more gravelish? I would guess, to me, it's more about the tire clearance, because you could always, and also, what is it a quill stem? Because, you know, I mean, my answer is always yes. I feel like anything could become a gravel bike. To me, it's more about the tire clearance than anything else. So, Charles said wheel set cost should be in line with the frame. Wouldn't put $600 fill wood on a Surly steamroller. Gotcha. Gotcha, Pudgy. Oh, does Van Duzer run Goodyears? Otis sold them for a while. I don't a Dirty River. I don't know if he still has any. I don't think they were bad tires or anything. I mean, some of them look kind of cool, but I just kind of don't like that. Even though they had like our local company's name on them, like I don't know. Large probably knows more about it than me, but that's what I felt like was going on. But super doink. Oh yeah, this is so. I don't know if anyone else has had this kind of happen. Like maybe it's because I bought all my started to buy a lot of my winter gear at the same time. But I swear to God, over going for my rides over the last 2 days, I've had more stuff like break and rip than I've ever had happen in my life. So yesterday I went to put on my like winter pants, which are a pair of Rafa pants I've had a while. Went to zip them up. The zipper broke. Then I went to put my windbreaker on, and like the little thing attached to the zipper broke off. And today I went to put one of my pairs of winter tights on, and they have zippers down at the bottom to go over your feet, and that broke. And then I had a third thing, something else I went to put on rip. And I'm just like, I guess it's getting to be the time where I need to start upgrading because I've worn the hell out of this stuff. I don't know. It just felt like it's been like this weird comedy of like everything falling apart on me around here for some reason. At least the bike stuff's not breaking. That's stuff that matters. But oh, hey, what's up, Tony? Yeah, totally doinking it up over here. Oh, that's a good point, Large, on the Schwinn. I guess it probably depends on what you have, because he's saying you'd probably spend more than the bike costs to convert it to drop. So it depends on what kind of group set you wanted to put on it. I always kind of forget about that because a lot of people go the other direction. But yeah, if you don't have like any STI levers or bar ends to put on it, then you might end up costing yourself too much money. But yeah, the zipper thing, like Sleepy Hollow said, always comes in threes. It's super annoying. Some stuff, your zipper breaks and it's easy to fix or something like that. Other things, like your zipper breaks and you're like, now this is worth it. I actually just safety pinned my tights before I went riding today. So zippers are gods telling you to take a rest day. Well, I think with the single digits we have coming up, taking a rest day is not going to be a problem because single digits, man. I'm not like the Hardy Minneapolis guys. So, if you guys aren't from Northeast Ohio, we have a crazy weather forecast coming up. Thursday night, it's supposed to start storming. The snow predictions are all over the place, like always. But yeah, I think what is it now? They're saying for Christmas Eve and Christmas, like the lows are around zero. So, what was something? There was something else. Oh, Bradley said he dropped a photo of his in the Discord. Oh, it was Miata. Nice. Oh yeah, that looks sweet. It's got the Ron's bags on there. Ron's bag on there. Looks like some pretty good gearing too. Or if I don't have a buddy near Columbus to get your parts from. Sounds like a poltergeist problem. Make an offering. Supposed to be 12 inches of snow in Chicago. Yeah, when I talked to um, when I talked to Erin on earlier today, she said the latest forecast said between Thursday and Saturday we could have 45 inches. But the snow stuff with a grain of salt until we get real close and you see what the radar looks like and if it's going to just slow down or if it's going to come with the polar vortex, like we're going to get like all that cold Canadian air. If it's coming across the lake, if it comes from the north in Akron, we'll get that lake effect and it'll be crazy. It'll make it really hard to get my mileage goals done. I saw, where did Jay Dandy say? Uh, got to back end the Festa 500. Yeah, that's what it, because I do want a Festa 500 again. Right now, I need about the mileage of the Festive 500 to hit the mileage to 6,500 miles for the year, which is what I'm trying to pull off. But yeah, there's going to definitely be days off the bike, so there's going to have to be a couple long days on them. The problem is if we get all that snow around Akron, it could be really hard to ride because if it's a ton, the bike trails will be too hard to ride to get enough miles in because it'll just be too exhausting in the thick snow. But like last year when we kept getting dumped on, they weren't like plowing like shoulders. They were like so busy trying to just maintain the busy roads that yeah, so it could be really interesting to try and get miles in. I might be doing like have to find like a loop through the Cuyahoga Valley and just ride it over and over again or something, which I don't know how much patience I have for. Might get to the point there where it's like it's not worth it, but we'll see. I pulled off the Festive 500 the last 2 years with two different goals, so I want to do it again this year. Um, the first year I did it completely indoors, which was horrible, which was really brutal, but just made it a goal for the hell of it. And then last year I did it completely outdoors, but got pretty lucky with the weather. There was nothing too freezing cold, and we had one kind of sleety day, but nothing like heavy rain or anything like that, which, as I've said a million times, to me is the worst when it's cold and rainy. So, yeah, it'll be interesting this year. We'll see if I have to like pull off like double centuries or something. As of now, the week between Christmas and New Year's is looking pretty chill for me. I mean, I know I have friends coming in town and all that kind of stuff, but again, that'd be evening. So if I got up at reasonable time to ride, shouldn't be too hard to pull off. Oh yeah, Pudgy. I hope you guys beat the bad weather, but you should have a little more time down there because I think all the weather is going to be coming from more northernly, from what I understand. So you might be all right. BAH, it depends on which route you decide to go. You know what I mean? You know, to say to say bars, levers, and gear set, it's hard to say what a rough cost of that is because I mean, you could put electronic durace on there and it would cost you $2,500. But you could also put something like the kind of stuff I have on my shelf on there, which you know which is the kind of stuff you can get for 20 bucks a piece. But balancing said F the miles if it's in the teens. Yeah, that's what I always say is about my limit. So like high teens, low 20s, I could probably go ride for an hour. So a little over 10 miles, long as depending on what the snow conditions are. So, you know, I don't know if you guys find this. I think we've talked a little bit about cold weather riding the last few years, but even today, like I did a loop through the Cuyahoga Valley, like dropping into it and like running a loop. And I think my average was under 13, where if I was doing that loop in the summer, like that's something where I was riding solo too. Definitely would have been like 15, 16 probably. In general, I haven't been riding as fast this year. I mean, one, with the sciatica, I don't put out as much power, but just doing more fun rides with friends and Aaron and stuff like that. And I just, I don't worry about speed that much in general, but I still tend to ride faster on my own. But to look at the average today, even before I climbed back out of the valley, it wasn't over 13 miles an hour. I think a lot of that comes down to the cold because I still feel like I'm working, but I don't know. I think I zone out. I'm also as you've seen, I've been kind of vlogging it too, which slows me down. Like when I pull out the camera and talk to it and fumble with it and take a glove off and blah, blah, blah. But still, I still think the cold makes me ride slower. I don't know. Plus, I just feel like any miles I'm riding when it's cold in winter, like, is amazing. I'm like getting, like, today was 30.5 miles. And to go do that, yesterday was really cold. Yesterday was mid 20s. And again, I'm fine through my core. Like, and as you guys have seen, like my face doesn't bother me. Like I wear glasses to keep the cold out of my eyes. It's just my feet and my hands limit me. And my hands were fine yesterday. I wore wool gloves, a pair of thin gloves over them, and then my lobster gloves. Hands were fine. Feet still got cold, even though I'm got them all layered up. So yeah, the teens, 45 minutes an hour, single digits. Yeah, I don't even know if I want to go out, but yeah, Pudgy, you don't mind the cold in general. Sam said indoor riding isn't the same. I've Oh, Dylan, you said you sold your trainer. My trainer's sitting right here, and I have no desire to hook it up. I have said this a million times. I think smart trainers make a world of difference. If you could use Zwift and ride it like a video game, it makes it much more enjoyable. But still, like, man, 45 minutes or an hour indoors, even when you're like playing the game, so you have like resistance and you're climbing hills and you're racing people or you're drafting people or you're chatting with people. And even, I have a double monitor set up here. So one thing could be YouTube, one could be that. I can find it engaging for a while, but just sitting in the same place does still take it out of you eventually. I think I think I once did a fondo on Zwift that was a New Year's Day fondo that was like it was either 50 or 75 miles. I know there's a big difference there, but I think that's the longest I've ever gone indoors. So, Weasel Fever said, "No money and object. What would be my dream frame and setup?" That changes all the time. As I've gotten way more into like a bike that's capable of everything, it's harder for me to pick now because if you would have asked me this 3 years ago, I'd be like, I would be buying a super cool vintage, like a Team 711 bike setup with, down tube shifting Dura Ace, uh, now that wouldn't be my dream bike, or a vintage Eddie Merckx, like in orange, like our Calnago style Eddie, the Calnago orange, that was the Eddie Merckx bike, Molteni type bike. But yeah, now I'd probably want some, I don't even know if it'd be a titanium because I've never ridden a titanium bike, but yeah. Like setup wise, I mean, I'd probably have like the high end GRX. Like if I was gonna like spend unlimited money, um, but yeah, I'd have to really think about the frame and the wheel set, which I just haven't done. Like, I definitely can't just name something off the top of my head because I'm still more interested in like a comfortable bike now. So it's like even building up this gunner, I'm putting swept back bars on it, like So it's hard to like even that bike wouldn't with the build I'm gonna do here wouldn't even work with GRX, right? So I don't know. That's some good advice from Tony right there, BH. Convert a He's converted a couple old mountain bikes, which are both very cool, to drop bar gravel bikes. If you want to do it cheap, look at micro shift and Sensa drivetrain bits. Yeah, used is always the option too. I mean, like I always talk about, 9-speed Shimano. I think looks cool on vintage bikes and is not very expensive now. You could pick it up really cheap. Nothing is cheap because by the time you run, no matter what you pay for anything, and by the time you run cables and housing and you know buy tires and whatever, but nothing is super cheap. It just depends on what your definition of cheap is. Muskrat said the cold air resistance factor back on what I was talking about riding outdoors and always feeling slower. I think even breathing, right? Like, I just don't think you have the same, I don't know. I just feel like you just don't even get the same oxygen levels or whatever. I'm not obviously a physiologist, but Charles says he has a trainer and a dedicated bicycle that you put on it, but only ride 30 minutes at a time to keep the legs toned. Yeah, when I had my trainer always just set up down here, same thing. It would be like raining and 40, and then I could just jump on it and knock out like 10 miles. I would do that a lot, but yeah. Oh, Raymond said that too. Added weight of your layers, and I also ride with more stuff on my bike. I bring, my not that it's heavy, but my down jacket is in there, and I have a bag, and I just throw whatever I think I'll need in there. So I think that does play a factor as well. Yeah, heavier clothing. I don't ride in kit either, so the more clothes I have put on, the more the wind is having an effect on me. I think that all adds up. Balancing asked about the hand warmers and feet warmers. Hand warmers, yeah, I'll actually usually put hand warmers in my pockets, and sometimes I bring hand warmers to keep my batteries for like my cameras warm. But yeah, even that just to warm my hands. But the feet warmers, I don't feel like have a benefit because hand warmers and feet warmers are the same thing. Just a different, they make a different cut for your toes. You need shoes that are big enough that there would be oxygen in there, and so the hand warmers, if you ever notice, they don't do anything if they don't get any air. That's why you kind of shake them around to get them started, and you still kind of shake them around when you're using them. Um, so if you put feet warmers and a couple pairs of socks and your shoes aren't big enough, they're not going to do anything. So yeah, I've had the ones that stick to the bottom of your shoes, and after like 20 minutes, they just kind of they go out because they don't breathe. So I'm sure there's people who have figured out a way to do it, but they don't do anything for me. Tony said they're usually more about the drop bar, vintage to drop bar. They're more fun to build than to ride. So you put a lot of miles on your Diamondback though when you had drops on it, didn't you? Bradley said been using your trainer the last 2 weeks on Zwift for sure, worth it. Yeah. Sam says Zwift makes it easier, but after a certain point, it gets kind of boring. When I first bought a trainer, smart trainer, started using Zwift, there was a big novelty that lasted me for the whole first winter, and then the winter broke pretty early. So I was enjoying it almost the whole time. Just kind of like I said, I still had a limit, but I was like scheduling like when there'd be an event or something like that, and once in a while just free riding, and even doing some racing. Even though I knew I wasn't going to compete or win a race, it was just kind of fun for the experience of other people there chatting. But yeah, it I think the novelty does wear off after a while. I've never ridden rollers. My brother was a triathlete and he used to ride rollers. Uh, yeah, I've never tried it. Muskrat said your forehead gets very cold in the cold. When I first head out, between my glasses and my wool cap, when it's like in the 20s, my forehead will be like so cold it has that burning sensation, but it goes away for me in about a mile and a half. So I don't know what it is, but like I said, I just really don't usually need to cover my face. It just warms up eventually. But I definitely, even on the cheeks and stuff, I'll feel it. Even the cotton bandana just to get like, I'll do something like this for a little while, but it can't even go over my nose because then it fogs the glasses. I know people wear ski goggles for that reason, but like I said, I'll just warm up in a mile and a half or two, and then I'm all right. So I can imagine, Chris, that rollers make you smooth. That is not. It doesn't seem easy to get the hang of. I should start a flea market site. I was who is it? The guy who owns Wild Bikes, Jeff Fran. He has like Bike Jerks yard sale, and he's always buying and selling bikes, and I always think that's pretty cool. He has a lot more followers, and he knows what stuff is worth more than I do. But yeah, and he's willing to drive anywhere with his van to get stuff. It seems like, but he just picked up a cool lot of. There was a Bridgestone mountain bike in there, a couple Trek touring bikes, 520 and a 600 maybe. Yeah, a couple really cool bikes. He's keeping a couple and selling a couple, but I love following that. If you're on Instagram, there's Wild Bikes, which is his bike company. There's Bike Jerks, which is his personal account, but then there's Bike Jerks Yard Sale. So check all those out. Weasel Fever, peace. Yeah, thanks for popping by. Oh, I could try out indoor park riding. It's so funny that Pudgy, and I don't know why. It's just like, well, I guess it's part that it scares me, but how like the indoor park riding just, it's, I guess again, it's the whole thing of getting in my car with my bike and driving somewhere that, you know, Cleveland's not far, Rays isn't far, but it's still all said and done, loading up the car, unloading the car, 2 hours out of my day just in the car. And that's like one of the reasons I love riding bikes is because it means I don't have to drive my car. So driving my car to ride bikes is a bummer. And like I said, I'm talking about coming down to Columbus to meet up with people and ride. But again, I'd make that an overnighter and, you know, whatever. I'm not saying I'll never do it, but hey, what's up, Jacob? Glad you stopped by. Oh, you swapped your clipless for flats? Large did that on one of his bikes too. He put flats on there for his winter bike with the studded tires, or just his bike that he put his studded tires on. Chris said you said your buddies made fun of you because you ride platforms and leather hiking boots in the cold. Man, you just got to wear whatever works in the cold. I can't believe anyone would make fun of you for that. You guys, if you've noticed the videos, you've seen the what do you call those? Those like duck boots that Erin wears. They keep her feet warm. You know what I mean? That's she never used to ride in the winter, so it's like everyone's always like the boots are back, but yeah, whatever gets you out there. Yeah. Hey, Dimitri, what's up? Oh, did you call this a toboggan? We've always called these beanies, but I don't wear these when I ride because they don't fit under the helmet. I have actual wool 45 North caps that look more like cycling caps and then cover the ears. Oh, that's right, Tony. You have that gunner too. See if I could get caught back up here. Oh, Sam, you went on one of Jeff Frayne's group rides in October? A couple of the guys from Joy Machines and then our buddy Woody went out to the ride he did. I don't think it was in October, though. It was an organized one, though, where he actually had like some swag that went with it. I think it was like started on his dad's property. Chris, you have a medium karate monkey you're going to sell? Possibly the complete bike? I know Erin's interested in a karate monkey, but she would probably be a small, I would guess. Sleepy Howler said, "Once you go flat, you'll never go back." It's funny. You know me. I'm all about flats on the bikes I ride all the time, and then I have vintage bikes that have tow cages on them. But I have friends who have tried to switch to flat and then always still go back to clipless. But I love just being able to wear shoes. That's my thing. Just whatever shoes I want. Oh, diversity. You have rechargeable long johns. I have a set of rechargeable gloves that guy pops in the channel sent me last year, but then the weather got better and I never really got to try them out. They're more for motorcycling, but I really do want to try them, see how they do. But like I said, I usually don't have problems. Like I've got my hand situation pretty sorted for most weather. I feel like when my hands get cold now, it's like one of those days where you're just going to get cold no matter what you do. Do you guys have those like sometimes how the temperature doesn't matter, you just can't warm yourself up, but Jacob said a dude down in Morgantown got shocked when you told him you rode in hiking boots back home. You're like, yeah, it's 10 to 15 degrees out. Yeah, what are yours, Large? Large has a pair of, they're more like hiking boots that he rides in the extreme cold on flats. But the warmest boots are deerskin felt lined boots. I think I need to get something warmer. It just, it is a little, I mean, it's a little uncomfortable to ride in boots that are more bulky, but I'm sure like anything else, you get used to it. And if it means that you could ride longer, because really, like last night, I would have rode probably 10 more miles if my feet hadn't gotten so cold. And they weren't even getting to the point of numb or anything yet, but I'm just like, they're cold. I'm hungry. I'm heading towards home. I'm just going home. So I guess it's where I need to try something else. I have boots from when I used to work at Boston Mills making snow, ski resort around here, but those are really thick. And man, I just feel like they'd be rubbing all over the crank arm. So I need something that wouldn't be quite so wide. Um, Oh, that's right, Sam. The Hodang. Yeah. Hodag Ramble. That's what I was thinking of that Jeff Fran had. That's a perfect point, Pudgy. If someone is actually riding in the winter and you aren't, you're not allowed to make fun of them. 100%. Jacob, you prefer clipless unless it's cold? Yeah. I think that's how a number of my friends are, larges and yeah, Pudgy, you almost always wear clipless. Yeah, drop boot names. Any boots you guys are riding, drop them in here so anyone else who's looking to upgrade or get something for cold weather riding. Jacob, I get that too. You said you find it, and that these temperatures will vary depending on what you're used to and where you live. But for you, you said you find it harder to dress for that 35 and wet than when it was 20 and just cold, especially with elevation changes. Yeah. I find too that if I'm going out, I find so 35 is a good number because yeah, I think it was a couple days ago I was going out to ride. It was 35, but it was going to drop below 30. And to me, like where I'm at personally, 35 I can be very comfortable in and know what to wear. Not wet, but just 35. But if I know it's going to drop into the 20s, that's like a to me, that's like a big change in what it feels like for some reason. Um, I feel like 35, 45, that area, it's like I've got that nailed. I know what to wear. I could unzip a layer. But when it drops, like that 6, 7 degree range from the mid 30s down is very uncomfortable to me. But yeah, but if I was leaving like yesterday and it was 24 when I left and like 26 when I got back, I knew exactly how to layer up for that. And I even left in my down jacket yesterday, rode 3 miles, and then took it off just to, or like 3.5 miles into downtown, just to. I just decided I'm not going out and enduring feeling cold, like I usually do, like I have in years past. I'm like I know I'm gonna warm up and be fine. Like now I've just started to be like I'm gonna put on this extra layer that's totally packable, ride with it for a little bit, then pull it off uh, when I get too hot, right before I start to sweat is my goal because I don't want to get damp. So if I could avoid getting damp, that's a big deal too, I think. Sleepy Howler said Uggs. Keen Summit County boots. Oboes boots for Jacob. Chrome Low Pro shoes. Lined Red Wing work boots. 45 North Ragnaroks. Yeah, we've looked those up before. Hey, what's up, Eduardo? You said it's been 50 degrees in Central California and haven't ridden because it's too cold. Yeah, I mean, and see, that's another thing that I'm never going to make fun of because I know how different, like being in Ohio, where we get the full, not the full range, but a huge range of temperatures, like what spring feels like at a certain the exact same temperature that when it hits in fall, how different it is. Like we get so accustomed so fast. And I talked about this before. My cousin's wife is from Buffalo, New York, where you guys have all seen the snow and the wind chills, like there. And she's now been in Florida for less than 10 years. And like when I was down there after the winter I made snow at Boston Mills, I was down there hanging out and it was in the 50s and they were talking about how cold it was. And I remember I was younger and I was like, "You're from Buffalo." And it's like, that doesn't matter. She hasn't lived in Buffalo for 10 years. That's not what she's accustomed to anymore. Like, yeah, I I changed, it hits 50 55 in the spring and we're all like shorts and t-shirt weather. It hits 55 in the fall and I'm like putting on my winter clothes that I wear when it's like 30. You just change. You just get accustomed to whatever. And if you've lived somewhere your whole life, that's what you're used to. Um, oh, largest boots. Okay, he says he has Columbia Bugga boots when it's real cold. They're rated to negative 40 or something dumb like that. Yeah, I would never want to find that out. Tony said, in the winter you ride flats and use waterproof muck hiking boots. I think too what you're saying about doubling up socks. I think it might be part of my problem with my 510s, which are pretty warm in their own right, like 40s with like just thin socks. I think because I've been doubling up wool socks, and even though I could still wiggle my toes, I think my circulation is getting cut off somewhere too much, like even above maybe like the top of my foot, and that's why my toes are getting so cold. So you know whatever, all your insulation still needs some air in there for it to be heating up. Um, if you think of a down coat or whatever, it doesn't do anything if it's not a little puffy. So I think that might be my problem the last few rides is I'm stuffing my shoes too much, even though, like I said, it feels like I can still wiggle my toes. But yeah, so I think boots that I have a little more room in to double up socks so there's more air in there. But Devotee, I was talking about those hot hand foot warmers, and it's the same problem I'm talking about with doubling up socks. They don't do anything if they can't breathe. So when I've put foot warmers in my shoes before, like especially the ones that are supposed to attach to your sole, they don't do anything with the pressure of your toes on there. They don't without getting air, they stop heating. So they need to be able to have air to keep staying warm. So they might work, if you're at a stadium and you're sitting there watching a game and you're able to keep your foot off the bottom of the shoe, or if your shoes have a big enough toe box that you're able to put them on and there's still some space. But under the foot riding a bike, they don't do anything. They just stop heating up completely. So, and then I know about like putting bags or foil, but that kind of stuff too. Then your feet get hot and sweaty, or they'll get sweaty, and that's not a good. Being damp for me is not good. So, Doris said you bought a sweatshirt that had a plastic hood off Etsy. Seemed like it might get cold enough to make that hood not crazy. I'm always, and same with my head. I'm good with those 45 North wool caps. Like I'm always fine with that. It's always feet for me. So, but you said sorrel boots. Let me jump down and work my way back. If it gets really wet, just add bread bags. Yeah, like that's what we did growing up with the moon boots. Like I've talked about on here before, those stupid moon boots that just soaked up water like sponges. Why did they ever send us out in those things? Bunch of cotton clothes, winter jackets stuffed with like cotton balls, basically, cotton long johns, and then we just went out and played in the snow, and you just got soaking wet, and you came home freezing cold. the worst, the worst stuff. I don't know. Growing up in the '80s, man, they put us in the worst clothing possible. I don't know how old most of you. I know some of you are a little older, but a lot of you are a little younger. So they had probably already sorted sports like winter wear by then. But yeah, the stuff we grew up with was stupid. Fabric, yeah, it was like a fabric winter jacket with cotton in it. Cotton long johns, just and jeans over it. Stupid stuff. And even the snow pants were just cotton, nylon with cotton, no water repellent, like nothing. Oh, Dimitri, I did miss a bunch of comments. Dimitri said, still not accustomed to the cold all the way up there. Geez. Com- Merrill Chameleon waterproof for Twan. Bradley said synthetic insulation keeps warm even after wet. That's what wool does. Depends on the synthetic. Some does, some doesn't. Uh, but wool keeps you warm even when it's wet. That's why I like wool over synthetic. Sleepy said back when you commuted in winter here, you just rode in your Diodora clipless shoes with a bit thicker socks. But it depends on how long your commute is. I'm talking about trying to get 30-mile rides in, so a couple hours. Pudgy shorts year around, heat is a myth. Yeah, Dimitri, I try and loosen I tie my shoes as loose as possible, and I go all the way from the bottom, and make sure that my shoes are as loose as I can get them when I'm doubling up on the socks. Oh, Muskrat, you were yeah, silk liners. I think Jay Dandy might have been talking about silk liners too, how nice they are. But damn it, I hate this thing. I talk about this all the time, but it's really hard to scroll through the chat. It like jumps like crazy. I 2 years in, I can't like get this thing to like when I try and scroll down, it jumps all the way to the bottom, and then I try and scroll back up, I can't find the place. Yeah. Hey, mountain biker boy, what's up? Try and find my way around here. Oh, it's 10:20. Piddle break? I don't know. I think I'm gonna go straight till about 10:30, and then probably go to bed because I am exhausted. But I slept horrible last night. Woke up with my leg hurting me again. Even though I've been feeling better with the sciatica, at night is when it still bothers me. Oh, Tony said plastic bags are an emergency foot tool in your opinion. You carry a few in your bag and have already bailed a couple of people out this winter when they effed around and found out with their footwear. Yeah. Large Marge said Vans and sweatpants. Yeah, we did. I don't know if you saw that video. I think I called it Ice Cold Rides. Did the Yetis on the loose ride. Um, Tony didn't. Tony missed that one. No, he was sick. But yeah, a dude showed up in slip-on Vans, and I saw he'd stuffed some cotton socks in there, and I was like, this. And he was wearing sweatpants. I'm like, this dude is going to be in a world of hurt. It was 29 degrees, and we were going for a. How far was it, Tony? 40 some mile ride. It was. Yeah. Diversity love. You will never know my age. I'm 12. Just kidding, unless you believe it. Chris said two pairs of jeans in the winter when you were a kid in the 70s. I believe that. I think I'm sure that's what my dad did. But boat has sunk since Tim's become a teetotaler. Teetotaler. Huh. I've definitely had a buzz on some of these streams, but been trying to cut back. So yeah, kids these days don't know what cold and wet is. That's I no. Everyone has nice stuff now. Even some of the cheaper stuff is nice now, man. Steve Marino. Yeah, I'm all on board with the wool. I mean, I'll show you how on board with wool I am. I'm wearing a wool surly jacket because this is what I was wearing when I was riding earlier, and then two thin. Wait, there's the mic. Two identical wool 365 base layers. So this is a around the house jacket. So I wasn't wearing that. I had my windbreaker over this, and then a chrome vest that has a little bit of downfill in it, but that I mostly had unzipped tonight. That's kind of what I vent with the chrome vest. I can kind of, it's great because it has the zipper on the bottom and top, so you can kind of meet them in the middle to vent really well. I really like that a lot. Oh yeah, you're right, Steve. I have a huge collection. I haven't worn them as much riding lately, but yeah, Village Discount Outlet. Those grandma wool sweaters. I've got a bunch of them, and yeah, the first couple winters I rode, I would wear those all the time as a layer. I should get back into that. That was comfortable. Yeah. Oh, what was largest comment that I missed that Tony is? Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. What I was talking about. Any Eastern Ohio people know of events worth making a weekend out of next season coming from Morgantown? Um, One I do every year is Road Apple Roubaix. I don't know if it would be. I don't know if it'd be worth it for you to come up. It starts in Ben's hometown, but that's one I do every year because I like it. Oh, that's right. Jay Dandy says he uses silk liners for gloves. Keeps your hands dry and dexterity can't be beat. Twan, I've never really listened to Kraftwerk. I mean, I know who they are, but um, isn't that a little more synthy? I'm a little more guitar-y. Isn't Kraftwerk more of like a synth? Am I wrong? Aren't they like German? Aren't they like German or German influence? Like more like a little on the '80s gothy side of things? Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely ignorant on the issue. Maybe I don't know if I like them. Can't get cold playing video games. I'm not a video gamer. Like if I'm sitting inside, it's probably going to be just working on whatever, working on photos, working on my website. But there was one. The thought just hit me to bring up about winter riding, and I just lost it. Oh yeah, Large Marge, Black Fork Gravel Grinder is kind of Ohio's. I mean, that's not really Eastern Ohio. What? That's more Central Ohio, right? Large, wouldn't you say that's Central Ohio, Black Fork? But that's probably the that's a great, I think almost scary gravel race. Some of those hills are so gnarly. I wouldn't mind doing another meetup, and I did post about it in the Discord. My friend who went out to Nutmeg, and then I was talking about how higher ground was set up, has talked about maybe trying to plan a similar style event to Nutmeg, or so something that wasn't a race but had a route. And he owns a property that we could possibly let people camp on that is actually right by the city. So kind of the idea of maybe we had a Friday night party at like a happy hour at Dirty River, camping. Saturday would be the event with a couple routes. Could camp Saturday night, and then maybe a couple fun like challenges on Sunday, because he lives right by some really steep hills. So we're thinking maybe like a race for anyone around here up Cadillac Hill or something like that. But we'll see. As me and Large Marge have said a bunch of times, like we found out we really don't mind going to events, but when we try and host events, we just kind of worry about everything too much and everyone too much, and it makes it very hard to enjoy it. That's why I've had people on here, like the guys from down in Tampa, Swelter Cycling, and Party Size Cycling from New Jersey, who love to plan stuff and organize stuff. And people like that, I think, are awesome, because uh, I have a lot of ideas, but then when it comes to doing them, I just get very nervous about being in charge and worrying about everybody. So Magnolia, gravel galore. Yeah, people love Magnolia. I've never done Magnolia personally, but it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. Me and Dylan and Aaron hit a couple of the roads on Magnolia when we rode that are on Magnolia when we rode all the way down to Tuscazor. But yeah, I haven't done the event. Oh, I got you, Bradley. I saw your comment way back up there about how, yeah, down if down gets wet and whatever is coating it is not very waterproof, it won't keep you warm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll hit up. I'll be seeing the guy I was talking about, my buddy Aaron. He owns Whiskered Lighting. Uh, I don't know. He seemed really hyped about hosting something, and if he's hosting it on his property, and he wants me to help with like the setup and using the YouTube channel to promote it and all that kind of stuff, but wants to worry more about like the logistics of everyone actually staying on his property, and then we get the GPX files out there. Um, I'd be all about like doing the event like that, and like I said, we figure something out. Like, and I was thinking the idea of like doing one that's a little more gravelly and gnarly, and then there could be like a more chill brewery route for people who just want to come and ride it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he says. Yeah. Chris said he put on an event for 10 years, bridge to ridge. It was a lot of work. You tell me to abort already, Pudgy? I'm all right. Let's all meet up and do big doinks in Amish. We did do so. I did, and a number of people on the channel, even some people in the chat. We did do one organized ride with the channel a year ago, spring. So it was, when did we get vaccinated? That people who get when we were first able to get vaccinated, it was like a few months after that, like so June of 21. So we did the industrial gravel ride. The cool thing about that was it was still a small enough group, and some people did come from around, and we had fun. I still worried about everyone. Of course, we had unseasonably hot weather, um, but that was a small enough group that I was comfortable taking on some of the trails that couldn't do something bigger and organized on some of those roads or routes, because they are private property of the rail company, some of the stuff. But same thing, I was still all worried about everybody. I was worried about Rick, Um, a couple people seemed to really be struggling. A couple people got flats, and then you're like, the whole idea was supposed to be like it's just a route. You do it at your own pace, but I wasn't able to not worry about everybody, and same with Large, and same with Aaron. So I don't know. We'll see. But we did have some fun, and then we hung out just at the studio after, the people who went through the whole thing and had some beers. But I don't know. if we could stick to the idea of how they do Nutmeg, I think, and how they do Higher Ground, where like here's the route. It's really up to you. You could ride with your friends, you could ride as a group, but like there's no leader and there's no sweeper. You know, we take your name, we want to know you survived, but is what I'd like to do. Um, anyways, well, even Tony's someone who organizes stuff. I think he's found out a little bit about what I'm talking about, but he still does a really good job. Tony and Scott Sheridan organize a once a month event. That's and a ride, I guess, a ride organized, but it's less involved in camping and all that kind of stuff. But Yives said, Yives, I presume, you should come to Southern Cal during the winter. Yeah, that was the plan last year. Our buddy Mike, who's been on the streams, the metal sculpturist, he was living out in LA, and our goal was to go visit him. He got a big project here at the university, a big sculpture installation, and it's like basically his whole year now. So he's back here in Akron. So yeah, one of our plans was to go visit him, me and Large and Aaron and whoever wanted to go out there. We were going to just rent an Airbnb and ride in the Hollywood Hills and all around. And so now that'll probably be put off for a while. Plus, I also don't have unlimited funds. I would love to get out of here for as much of the winter as I could, but I need to work, you know. So I need to work, and flying to California has been pretty expensive lately. So unfortunately. Jay Dandy said it's not an event unless it's 80 degrees and people drop like flies. Yeah, so that's what happened on the industrial gravel ride. Jay Dandy finished. Dylan and his two friends from Columbus, Quinn and drawing a blank, but it'll come. Devin. I think that's it. I made the route so it was like a flower petal. So there were so it was like 3 loops that kind of came back into downtown. So like you had bailout points and people took advantage of the bailout points. It was a hot day, and it wouldn't have been hot. Again, we're talking about weather and getting acclimated. It wouldn't have been that bad if we had that temperature and it was late August. But since it was spring and no one had that temperature yet, and it was blazing and humid, it really put it to people. And then I made the last loop super climby. So it had like a flat part along a bike trail, and then it had a ton of elevation at the end. And I made it to be a challenging route on purpose. But yeah. Another great event worth coming out to if and when it happens is the Otis Roubaix. Yeah, we'll have to see if he has puts that on again. I know he wanted to do it this fall, and he was talking to some of us about scheduling and all that, and it just never worked out that any of us could have helped him at the time. But industrial gravel ride of attrition, that's for sure, Jay Dandy. And if anyone if anyone wants to see what that ride looked like a little bit, I think I just set it to music. I didn't voice over it any, but search the channel for an industrial gravel ride 2021, I think is what it's just called. So, and it has that in the thumbnail, like a little picture of the logo for that. But oh, nice. Tony says he has some Yetis on the Loose rides planned for 2023, including Central Ohio. Have some nice gravel routes planned. Awesome. Yeah, I keep Tony's rides. I think I've only made it to 3 of them just because I just have events on the weekend sometimes. But yeah, I've been bummed that I've missed so many of them. But the 3 that I've gone on, I've had a great time. So, and they've been great routes. Oh yeah, bouncing. Everyone's been talking about the lady who got attacked by the 3 pit bulls. Yeah, it's wild. I am not going to stop riding my bike on gravel. I know Dylan said it's been something that's been bothering him. I've talked to other people who have been bothered by it, but I don't know. Erin bought some dog repellent mace stuff to carry with her when we go to do that, but shoot some hotline videos. I hear those are popular and in high demand. Yeah. Especially since Terry said he doesn't really want to do them anymore, right? Oh yeah, Funny Bear did survive the industrial gravel ride, didn't he? Is it bedtime? What time is it? Yeah, I gotta wrap it up in a minute here. But well, diversity love. I don't think it was mace. It was some kind of dog repellent that she got that was specified as that. It was something that's supposed to repel dogs. But Tony only rides gravel with a broadsword. Sword. I said sword. Okay, Dylan said I don't really ride the OGG gravel mount much. That's true. Almost everyone has dogs. It's part of it, huh? Yeah, you've ridden that stuff much more than me, so I guess yeah. I really shouldn't comment on it because I've ridden gravel roads that are not as rural as other people ride, like Dylan. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Reliable Waste? Gosh darn six in Tennessee next year. I have to look that one up. Yeah, and for anyone, I'll drop the link for anyone not in there, but we do use that meetup section in Discord for um, just to plan. People have planned stuff just with each other just to go for a ride. But you could also, when events are coming up and you're going to one, always drop the link and be like, we've done that with, Nutmeg and Higher Ground and whatever. Um, like people are like, oh, I'm going to be at this. I just signed up for this event, just signed up for this event. So yeah, use that so we could, meet up and even, you know, planning smaller stuff. Like I said, going down to Columbus and whoever wants to ride will come up with something. But go to your local gun place, buy mace pepper spray, bring it on your local gravel ride, spray the hell out of dogs. Yeah, maybe I need to get something else. I don't know. Diversity said your repeller fended off pit bulls. Did a couple gravel rides in Coshocton last month and had a couple dog chases. Part of the deal. Usually they're tame enough. Road apples the same way. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't think I've ever been chased at road apple. We've had a couple problems here in the city. You know, riding more over in the rougher parts of town. Like we've definitely had some dogs come out and uh, definitely felt like we had to get around them and gun it as hard as we could to get away from them. So yeah, well, I was just talking about running into Brent from All Around Cyclery. He was saying how he was about to get like attacked and trying to outrun a dog, and he said the property owner's like standing on the porch, not calling the dog or anything. So I guess it gets pretty annoying out there. But Tony, you missed the Silver Street dog so much. He was your dude. I'm like the only one that never had a problem with the Silver Street dog, and I rode Silver as much as everybody else. Well, not as much as Large Marge because he literally lives like that's part of his work route. But can I give you advice on how to become a Giga Chad? You're trying but not being able to become one. Is that what? Is that like a Super Karen but the dude version or something? If that's what you're asking, if you want to become real bro, you just make fun of what everyone else is doing. Hope for the best but plan for the worst. I think yeah, that's makes sense. Tony said he would chase you going down the hill, but just sit quietly when you're climbing uphill. He respected the game. Oh, Tony, that's right. You lived right next to Large. Basically, the dog was like a brother to you. I think that's a pretty good note to end on. My plan for the live streams right now is just to see how, till after the new year, just to see how it goes. Like right now, I'm planning on streaming Thursday, but you know how this time of year is. It could be like I have friends who will pop into town and be like, and if I feel like it, they're like, hey, do you have a chance to meet up or whatever? And then also trying to get the miles in, but I won't be riding at 9 o'clock this time of year, except for tomorrow, which is Ratsmas. But yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully get some stream. Hopefully stream on Thursday. Hopefully get some streams in, at least one between Christmas and New Year's. Um, if not, I hope everyone who whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope everyone has a good time. If we don't chat, I'm planning to make a bunch of videos. Like I said, I've got a little bit of time, and I'm riding my bike a bunch, so it makes it convenient for me just to pull out the GoPro and film some footage. Like I said, I've got all this B-roll shot for the video about like all the components I put on the rally. I just haven't felt like finishing the edit. So those are always the toughest ones to do because I'm really picky about what I say, and I like chop it all up and I put B-roll over it. So, but that'll be out. A couple riding vlogs, all that kind of stuff. So, Dimitri, yeah, planning for the Festa 500. So, I will see if the weather allows it. My goal is 6,500 miles for the year, and I have 320 miles left to do. So I might prioritize getting some of those miles in this week, and if I don't pull off the Festive 500, but I know myself, I'm going to want to whenever I did it the last 2 years, and now it's a goal in my mind. So for those who don't know, Festive 500 is 500 kilometers between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So just a thing, just that's always fun. So Tony's doing the Festa 500, 500 beers. Nice. All right, guys. Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year. Hopefully I see you before the New Year, though. So, all right.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, this time.
Fitzwater photo.